Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin, and this channel is all about entrepreneurship and living your best life. And in today's video, what I wanted to do was share 11 habits of successful women. I read a lot, I watch a lot of YouTube, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I just really have studied a lot of the mentors that I really look up to. And I really like to put together little lists, and I put together a list of all the kind of habits that I noticed that a lot of the successful women I looked up to did. And I thought, why not share this on a YouTube video? So that's what I'm here to do today. If you did enjoy the video, I would very much appreciate it if you gave it a big thumbs up. And of course, if you are new around here, then consider subscribing. And if you want more on habits and mindset and being an awesome entrepreneur, specifically a female entrepreneur, I do have a free audio training called How to Live Your Best Entrepreneurial Life that you can sign up for in the description below. Okay, so the first habit that I really noticed that successful women do is that they do everything with intention. You know, I've spoken about this before on my channel, but I just think that a lot of people who aren't necessarily succeeding, they're kind of just hoping for the best. You know, they're just doing what everybody else is doing or what they think they need to be doing and hoping that somehow it's going to be successful, right? It's just like if you were into golf. I don't know if you're into golf, I'm definitely not, but it's just like if you were into golf and you were sitting there blindfolded, hitting as many balls as you possibly could, hoping that one was going to go in the hole. It's less likely to happen than if you actually lined up the shot, you were super intentional, you even visualized the shot going in like Tiger Woods does, and then you took it. And that's a lot to do with being successful in this particular habit. You know, do everything with intention. Why are you eating the food you eat? Why are you building the business you're building? Why are you going to that event? Why are you doing this live? Why are you anything? I don't know, I can't think of another example. Anything, literally anything. Like, why are you doing that? Do everything with intention to make it really rich for your life and really help you to move forward towards your goals. And the next thing, and this is something that I recently heard Marie Forleo talking about in her interview with Tom Bailey on Impact Theory. And she was talking about balancing your masculine and feminine energy. I didn't really know a lot about this, so I'm only going to explain it to the degree in which I know, but it's definitely a concept I would suggest looking more into. Ultimately, our masculine and feminine energy, it's not so much about male and female, it's more so just about the embodiment versus the thinking mind. And what you should do is really thinking about, rather than just always being in this linear movement, rather than always being in this thinking mind, try to get into your body more. You can do this through embodiment exercises, dancing, yoga, meditation, but ultimately you really want to be, I guess, grounding yourself and feeling into your body and your experience and presenting things to the world from the heart, you know, creating and speaking and, you know, even an Instagram post, doing all of that from the body and from the heart rather than from the intellectual mind. I've noticed when I really have something that my heart or my soul wants to share, it actually gets such higher engagement over something that I've really thought about posting. So definitely look into this concept a little bit more. It's a really great habit for any woman who is trying to be successful. And the next thing is to schedule time to switch off. I really noticed that successful women, they are not chained to their phones. They're not constantly having FOMO about not showing up online. They're so confident in their self that if they took a full day off social media, they know that when they came back, their presence would be welcomed. I recently took 2 days off social media, and it was honestly one of the best things ever. I not only figured out more direction and got more clarity for my business, but I came back just literally ready to party. Like, I just felt so refreshed and recharged. And I think so many of us who are not believing in ourselves, we think that if we even drop the ball for a second, it's all going to disappear. But successful women, they know that switching off and taking time to connect with their intuition is just as important as showing up for their community. And my next thing, and you guys know this is like my #1 value, I truly do believe that if you're going to be successful, this is something you have to do. It's like a non-negotiable, is you have to build deep relationships. You cannot achieve success alone. If you can show me an example of someone who literally has become so successful and done it completely by themselves, like, yes, it's a lot to do with what you do and the actions you take, but if you can show me an example of someone who's had no mentors, no friends, no support, no family, no nothing, I will be mind blown, because I truly do believe, specifically with entrepreneurship, that it should not be done alone, that you need to build deep relationships. And if you're someone someone who's maybe a little introverted, or you don't know anyone in your real life who is an entrepreneur or is like-minded, put yourself in a situation to meet new people. You know, I've got an online community called the Game Changer Collective, and I recently reached out and researched all of my members in there. And the number one thing that I heard so many of them saying was that the reason that this community was so successful for them was because of the other members. Being able to confide in other people and even being able to just watch other people succeed. But either way, find a way to meet like-minded individuals and surround yourself with them as often as you possibly can. The next thing that I noticed a lot of successful women do is they personalize their environment. So this might be a little harder to do if you live at home with your parents, but what I really noticed is that everything within their environment, everything within their experience is, again, there for intention. You know, rather than just filling your life with junk or crap that you don't need. And I'm talking about your mental environment as well as your physical environment, but just making sure that every day what you're experiencing, it brings you joy. You know, you could, I guess, adopt the KonMari method for this, as she does for tidying up, but do it for your whole experience. You know, everything that you go through every day, every living situation you're in, every relationship that you're in, every conversation that you have, just everything that you do, make sure that it's set up to your liking as much as you possibly can. You know, I know sometimes we go to jobs that we hate, but at least have something on your desk that brings you joy. Just really try to make sure that every single day you just feel good about where you are on this earth at this point in time. So the next habit that I noticed so many successful women did was they moved their body. I don't want to talk too much about this because it's definitely not my area of expertise, but it's definitely a common trend and something I'm working on so much more myself. So like with the balancing the masculine and feminine energy, I really noticed that a lot of these successful women were taking time to just feel themselves, feel their body, like Nicki Minaj, I'm feeling myself. But honestly, not necessarily in like a sexual way, but just in a way that allows them to get deep rooted in their body. And a lot of women do that through exercise. So I would say even if you could incorporate like a walk or some yoga, dancing, you know, gym fitness, aerobics, if you're in the 80s, whatever it is, but just incorporate something that gets you out of your mind and into your body. It gets you out of, you know, social media, it gets you out of your head. It just allows you to just release a lot of pent up energy that's going on within you and just take some time to kind of like switch off and move. And the next thing is have positive female mentors. So I've seen a lot of women who are very, very successful and they have some amazing mentors, and quite often a lot of them are men, specifically in the female space. But what I also realized was when they were being interviewed, like for example, I saw an interview of someone who was mentored by Richard Branson, but she also said that her mum was a very big influence in her life. And while I think it's really great to have these amazing men who are doing awesome things in the world, I also think it's really important that you've got women to look up to if you are trying to be successful. So you've got positive female influences in your life, because I know that we're fighting for equality, but at the end of the day, I really do think men and women still are different. Women are much better, and we want to support one another. So make sure there are some people in your community, in your family, or in your life that are positive female role models that you can look up to, because I truly do believe that women, we need to stick together and we need to help each other to achieve success. And the next habit that I've seen so many successful women adopt is that they practice speaking up. This is one of the biggest reasons that has led to inequality in the workplace, and I'm not saying necessarily the gender pay gap, but women not being able to be put into leadership roles. I think a big reason for that is their own confidence, and because they're not necessarily speaking up. They're not saying, I want this role, I want this leadership role. And I know this is a bigger, more deep-rooted issue than a video about habits, but I really think in any area of life, you should practice asking for what you want. If you don't ask, you won't receive. And I think a lot of women, they feel so bad about asking for what they want, but you will never move forward if you don't practice this habit. So I know that a lot of these successful women, they ask for what they want, whether or not they sound like a diva, but just go for what you want, be unapologetic about your desires and speak up for them. And then the next habit, and I've never actually found an entrepreneur or a successful woman who does this, but I assume they do it and I do it. So I wanted to put it on the list, right? Have an up-level list. You know, I love the concept of self-love, self-acceptance, and I think that we should all just appreciate the place that we are in life right now. But I also think we can always strive to be better. We can always strive to do more. We can always strive to self-develop. And I think a really good way to do this is to have an up-level list. So on my phone, I simply just have this big list of things I want to learn, things I want to buy, things I want to experience, feelings I want to experience. All these things that I know would be an up level for my life, but also for my business and those around me. I just keep this list. It's like my bucket list, but it's more internal than things that I'm specifically just going to do. And I think this is a really good way to kind of stay on track, always have a North Star for where you're moving forward. Like I said, successful women have a vision. They know where they're going, and this list is a really good way to just constantly be moving forward in life. The next thing is to get your beauty sleep. And I know this is such like a kind of line that a lot of people use, like what does your beauty sleep even mean? But what I really mean is to just rest. Again, with this whole masculine and feminine energy thing, I think we're also caught up in this hustle mentality. My mastermind actually joke around because both the other girls, Kimberly and Ruby, they are really, really hard workers, and they always talk about how they need to learn how to chill from me because I love to chill, I love to rest, I love to sleep. Honestly, George. Definitely. Do I love to sleep or what? I could sleep like so often. And that's the thing, it's like, I just really think that women need to learn how to just rest, chill. And I'm not saying like necessarily like being stressed right up until the point you go to sleep at night and then wake up and do it all again. Like really just take time to do sweet FA, like just rest, just take some time to let your body just sink into the experience of life, because recharging those batteries is only going to help you be more powerful and more successful. And then my final thing is, and I excuse the French, even though I've got a little French fringe going on at the moment, stop feeling fucking guilty. This is one of the most important habits, and if I was going to even just give you one thing to walk away with from this video, it would be this. Successful women have built their life to the point where they don't have to feel guilty. And yet I see so many women, particularly those who are trying to build a business, trying to be the best mum or the best wife or the best sister, they just feel so guilty for so many things. Women feel guilty for becoming successful because they feel like they're outshining other people. Women feel guilty for going for positions in their career because they feel like somebody else is being disadvantaged. I see women who don't want to make money online because they feel like if I make money, somebody else is going to miss out. You need to stop feeling guilty. There is enough good life for anyone. And honestly, the better you get, the more successful you get, the richer you get, the more you're actually going to be able to help other people. So you need to step up and become unapologetic. Stop feeling fucking guilty about everything that you want to do. I coach so many clients who are like, oh, I feel guilty, working and building my business because I'm not cleaning my house or I'm not doing the traditional life things. And you cannot feel like that. Like this cannot be a part of your experience. You have to just show up. This is 2019. Everyone has an equal place on this planet. And that's what we're fighting towards. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's up to you. It's up to you to stop feeling guilty. We feed into our own insecurities by the way that we feel and the emotions we attach to it. And so please take this video as my message to you that if you're gonna be successful, if you're gonna make a lot of money and therefore be able to help a lot of people, you need to stop feeling guilty. You need to do you need to be you, you need to show up, and you need to speak up, and you need to just do what you can to make it happen. That's it for me. I hope that you liked my little list. Again, I don't really know who these things had come from. It's something that I've been developing over time. But if you do have any positive female, successful women habits that you want to add to the list, please do leave them down in the comments below. And I thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.